Well, good morning, my lovely crafty friends. It's Bella here from Rach and Bella Crafts, and I've come to do the first part of the new slow stitch project. I hope you're all well. I had a busy day yesterday. I did my filming and I sorted out my lace, and then I got started on my covers, which I'll tell you about in a moment. And I also did some gardening. So busy day. Another busy day today, and I've got visitors coming. I had visitors last evening as well, so if I sound a little bit tired, it's because I'm doing a lot. But I'm not bothered. I'm fine. I'm very healthy. I haven't put my ring on, so I'll pop that on there. As I say, I hope you're all well. Thank you for your lovely comments, and thank you to those of you that are going to stitch along with me. So let's have some fun. So as you saw, if you were on Facebook, I did post a picture of these yesterday, and my lovely tray that I'd forgotten I'd bought from IKEA. So I've got a few of those. They're my project trays now. Got the idea from Gail Agostinelli. Right, so what I've done so far, and I'm not going to make you watch me sew all this because this is already stitched down to there, and that's what it looks like on the back. Lost my buttons now. There they are there. The other thing is I did change to the strong canvas because I did like the way it had substance. The other one, the calico, just wasn't sturdy enough. So just so you're aware, and it's cheap enough, but if you would like me to send you some canvas, I won't charge you very much, and I've got lots of this, so I could do at least 10, 12 of these at this size if you wanted me to. So just let me know and private message me on Facebook, Junk Journal Trading Post, okay? And you'll find, or on my personal Facebook, which is Angelita Bella Walters with an L, Walters, okay? So there we are. So I'm just finishing this off, showing you what I'm doing. I haven't gone into every single hole, okay? I managed to find the same colour. Don't ask me how. I was looking and looking and looking, and they were right in the bottom of my drawer down there, which I've got lots of threads. Now I'm going over what seems to be the ridge, okay? I'm coming up here and it's going over the top. I'm doing it slowly so you can see. You can't see it, it's invisible because I've managed to get the same color. Now if you didn't have the same color, you could make it a part of a fancy stitch if you wanted to and use a dark color. It's entirely up to you how you do it. It's your project. Excuse me. But I did manage to get the same colour. Now I'm bouncing all over the place here, finishing this off, just to show you. And I'm just going, it's not going into every single hole, but I'm just watching where it's sticking up, like here and here, okay? And I'm going through and I'm coming back, but I've gone over the ridges. Okay, and you can't see it, as I say, because I've chosen the same colour cotton. I can't wait to see what you all start making. It doesn't have to be the same as mine. You can make whatever you like. It's your project. And here, what I'm doing, I'm making sure these little raw edges, I'm overlapping them with the stitch. Okay, and that will keep them down and stop them fraying. So if you're worried, just go over the top. Now that one's in two parts, so it's not so bad. I'll just do that. And over that one there. I hope I'm on screen. There we go. And that will keep that one down a little bit. And that one. Just making sure really that it's not going to annoy me. I'm just thinking and pondering about whether or not I will machine stitch the edge into the lining, because I will line it. I'll show you in a minute what I'm going to use for the lining. Okay. Now my fingers are not working. Oh, there we go. I was just going to say my fingers are not working as they should this morning because of the gardening and holding the trowel and putting in new plants, so bear with me and I'll do my best. There we go. It's just one of those things. The arthritis doesn't like pressure on the joints, so, but the plants had to go in, and my husband can't get down because he's riddled with arthritis. Well, actually, he's got not spondylitis. He's got something, a longer name than that, in his spine because he broke his back. Somebody pushed him, actually. Wasn't very pleasant, and left him with an injury. And also, he was a police motorcyclist, and riding around on those bikes all those years didn't help either. Every day. Right, so let's see, just this little bit here now. So I think rather than take a big piece going across there, just catch one tiny little bit of cotton there of the material, and you've got your knot. And because I'm putting a line in, I'm not worrying too much. Okay. And I just love the stitching on the back, and I was playing with the idea of whether or not I would not line this one, but I think I will. I just feel like I need to. So where was I? There's a little bit up here needs stitching, and then that's it. So that was painless, wasn't it? I should have brought a glass of water in with me, I think, but never mind, we'll manage. Now I'm hurrying this a little bit because I want to get on to the next thing. But you take your time and enjoy the stitching, okay? Because it is very, and when I was doing this yesterday, because after I'd done the video yesterday, I sat at my table by the side of me and I just planned out what I was going to put on here, went through all my laces and my bits and bobs and decided what I was going to do for the cover. And that was really enjoyable. And I tend not to film when I'm oohing and ahhing about what I'm going to do because it will take forever and it'll make me nervous and I'll never get it done. So I don't do that kind of filming. If you know me by now, you'll know I'm not that confident. But I always show you afterwards, don't I? And this was a little bit of crochet, I would say. Not quite sure what you would call this. It's not wool because you can see the strands there, look. So it is cotton, and they've either put something underneath and then overcast stitch over the top of it. I'm not sure what they did, but it's very clever and it's quite effective. And if you've not gathered by now, this shape, I didn't really notice this when I was showing it to you, but it's a butterfly. At least that's what it looks like to me. And I chopped some of the edging off and there we go. It was a ready-made butterfly, because I had a butterfly on the front of my other one, which I cut out myself and just made like an applique. So you can do that as well. You can make your own and then just stitch it on. I did machine stitch that, and it's by the side of me, I'll show you. I cut out this lace, which had netting, and I'm not sure, yes, it had some material behind it. I think it was off the little dress that I bought. And then I went round with a machine stitch with a zigzag stitch. So the front, this cover is machine stitch, but all inside was hand stitched. But what I'm saying is you can just cut out these little shapes and make them as a butterfly if you want, if you haven't got anything that resembles a butterfly. Okay, so you can do that as well. You can make all kinds of shapes, and we may do that. And as I say, my fingers aren't working well today, but no matter. There we are. That's that. We don't need that bit of cotton there. Now I've got a piece of cotton threaded here ready, and I managed to find almost the same colour as the leaves on this lovely trim. So I was just going to stitch around here, and then I will invisibly stitch the leaf isn't, these are not attached yet, but I want to get the backing attached. I don't want to take that off because I need to know where it's going. So I thought what I would do is just go around and do a nice edging, like so. Trying not to get the needle up in your face. I hope you can see what I'm doing. It's just a running stitch. That one was a little bit bigger than I intended, but never mind. Doesn't have to be perfect. It is as it is. I'll have to watch that pin. Just be careful of pins because they can be nasty and they can feel a bit like you've had a bee sting, so be careful. Let's move that out the way and I can go underneath. There we are. So yes, we were gardening away yesterday. My grandson worked like, well, like he was possessed, because he finished the whole garden. He did the trimming, he did the mowing, and my husband did some weeding because we got quite a few borders in this house, and they're beautiful, but they do need a lot of weeding regularly. But it's worth it. You know what it's like if you've got a garden. If you want it to look nice, then you have to get rid of the weeds, don't you? Unless you've got, you know, like a wild garden or something, which is absolutely lovely. So that's not straight, but I'm not bothered. I don't care. This needle could have been a bit sharper, but never mind. I think I'm trying to go through too many layers. That's what it is. So bear this in mind. Apparently, I learned the other day that if your needle head is not big enough, then it makes like this popping sound when you're pulling it through. And that means you haven't got a big enough needle for the cotton, and it makes a pop sound, and they say that's what puts the stress on your hands. So I learned that from 2 people I was watching this week, which I thought was very good advice. So make sure, that's why this needle looks as if it's a little bit big, but because the cotton needs to go through without making that popping sound, it's ideal, and it's not putting the stress on my hands. Okay, so there's a little tip for you. Just finish this bit off now. And because I've done a contrasting stitch, it's really effective. I hope you agree with me. And then what I'll do then, because I love this trim, I am just going to, what colour shall I use? I could use this actually. That would be a good colour to invisibly stitch that down. And we'll do that next. So this is just the cover at the moment. And if any of you watch my videos regularly, you will know that I usually work on my cover first. Lenore knows because she asked me a question about it. So yes, Lenore, I do work on my covers first. Okay? Now here, what I plan to do here is some invisible stitching on the back and on here. And then I'm putting 3 buttons on, but I'm going to use this in the buttons. So let's change my needle now, and we shall invisibly stitch these little trims on. And that's more or less all I need to do to my cover. Now let's see if I can thread this little bit of cotton. Yes. Now I'll probably keep pulling this out now because, as I say, my fingers don't work properly today. It's mainly these 2 fingers. My thumbs, I've always had arthritis in my thumbs, but I think since I've been doing the slow stitching, the arthritis has gone really badly into my 2 fingers here because of the way I'm gripping here. So just be aware of it. I may invest in those lovely gloves that I've seen recently on Amazon. I don't know. You can tell me if you've got arthritis, what would be the best for me. but I do need something to support my hands. I've got those ugly ones, you know, the ugly ones that they give you, you know, at the hospitals. And I don't wear those because they just get in the way. And I don't want it to get in the way. I want to be able to do what I'm doing without any fuss. Who wants to look at black ugly? Now this cotton may show a little bit because I'm doing this on the net now. So, but I don't mind. I'm not bothered. It all adds texture. It's all fun. Some things you just can't avoid. What I could do, I've just had a thought, is I could go up. Let's see if I can. Just stitch through there. It's very thick, that. So this needle's not going to go through it, I don't think. Oh, it is. There we go. But I'll have to go front and back. And just make a line there. And it'll look like, you know, the vine, is it called the vein? Not the vine. The vein of the leaf. And that will do it. That will keep them down. And just do a little bit here and there on the netting. Okay? Yes, I think that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to put that down there like so. And then that will keep it on, because you don't have to stitch every inch of what it is that you're stitching down. Don't feel you have to go over and stitch. Just make sure it's down. And if I got the end there, if I can get the needle in there, which I might, not quite, that'll do. There, and go back down with a little stitch there. That's fine. And that will keep this. It's quite secure. I know the pin is in it, but that's quite secure. So I think that's quite a good idea, just to do the inside of the leaves as the vein. I could have used the same colour, but actually looking at it, it's a slow stitch project. So the more stitches we've got showing, the better, I think. I hope you can see this okay. I've got my camera down so I can pop my head up and just look in to make sure it's in camera, in shot. Right, so that's that side done. I don't know, I'm going to go near that there, underneath the flower, and maybe it should hide it. I'm going to go the other side of it, because I don't want to disturb that flower. And that's enough to secure it, I think. Maybe a little bit there. Just catch the end of that there. All right, and that's fine, that's okay. I think I can take that out now before I stab myself again. And we'll go over to the top of the leaf this time. Now with these small projects, I'm going to be flipping and turning the material around, so I'm sorry about that. There's not a lot I can do about that. I'll try and keep it as low as I can. Trying to stay in the vein if I can, but it doesn't matter as long as it's down and it looks okay. So if I put one there, just going to do a small one there. Okay, there we go. Can you see? Can you see the stitching? By here. My nose is itching. We went to B&Q yesterday, those of you who live in the UK, you know what B&Q is. And we bought lilies. Oh my gosh. And all the pollen was coming off the lilies. And of course it starts my hay fever off, doesn't it? I was sneezing my way around B&Q, but oh, they were beautiful. I'll take a photograph and I'll put it on Facebook and show you. Garden's looking lovely. It's quite charming. I've been watching, and I can't remember what her name is, a lovely young lady, and her hair, the length of her hair is down below her waist, almost to her bottom. And she cooks, she sews, she plants things, and she lives in a little cottage. And and she plays music through most of it. You never see her face. You just see her hands. Whatever she's working on or whatever she's doing, that's all you see. There you go. That's it. So that's done. I'll just do a little bit by there. Sorry, I'm in your face there. And then that will anchor that bit down. So that's not going to come off. It's not going to go anywhere. And the back, look at all that loveliness on the back. And the messier, the better. If you have trouble getting that through, push it. If you've got one of these mats, they're brilliant. And it takes off the pressure from your fingers. Okay? Otherwise, I wouldn't be able to do this. There. Done. So that's that one done. And I think that looks lush. So that's going to be the back of the cover. There's a little bit of this. I may need to stitch this down a little bit more, but that's fine. I can do that later. But that's not going anywhere. And I love these bits that are, you know, straggling off here, because it's only going to go in my shelf or in somebody else's shelf. We'll see. So it's not going to be used every single day, because it's the sort of thing, as the whim takes you, you will just take it out and just, you know, handle it. Now, I have been given by Brenda Butler. Hello, Brenda. Whilst we were on the retreat, she gave me some beautiful, I'm swapping cotton now, beautiful wools that you can use in slow stitching. And I'm waiting to make up packs before I actually do a demonstration of how I'm going to use them. And in one of the books, not both of them, just one of them, I'm going to start using these wools. And it was Brenda that I gave the first, one of the slow stitch books to, because I wanted to say thank you. And I waited until she received it before I mentioned who it was, and she loves it. So I'm so pleased you like it, Brenda. And I will be using the packs. She's given me permission to put some of the wool in my Kofi shop, so that will appear. Now, what I'm doing here, I know I haven't finished my sentence, but this is just invisible stitching now, just making sure that this part of this beautiful lace from that blouse is staying put. All right, so if you don't want the stitches to show, or if you just want to be able to take the pins out, which is what I'm aiming to do, then invisibly stitch. But I will be making up little packs of the wool. I went through it the other day, and there's some lovely things in there. And when Anne Brooke was doing her, I can't remember whether it was the tags or whether it was the book that she made, she brought out these beautiful fluffy pieces of wool. Never seen them before. I didn't know they existed. Just a minute. And I couldn't get it anywhere. And Brenda brought this bag of wool to the retreat, just for people to help themselves. Well, right at the end of the retreat, I noticed the bag of, because I was busy, and I noticed this bag of wool, and Brenda said, oh, that's mine. And I said, oh, may I have some? And she said, take the bag. So I did. So I did get permission to be able to put some packs in my shop. So thank you, Brenda. And we will then start doing some, I'm trying to think of the term that Anne Brooks uses. You lay it down or you make some shapes with it and then you overstitch it, but she calls it something and I can't think of it. Too tired this morning. And I need my second cup of tea. That pin is getting on my wick. See what I mean about pins? So let's turn it round now. Grab that before it comes out. And then I'm going to go down here a bit now. I just want to anchor this to the canvas. And then there aren't any pins. And once you've done this, and I'm doing this quickly because I'm on camera, but as I say, whilst you're sitting quietly, watching TV or sat out the garden, listening to the birds, you can be doing this nice and slowly because it's meant to be slow stitching, not stress stitching. Okay, it's not meant to be stressful. Make it your own. Don't worry about what anybody else thinks. It's your book. All right? Anything you create is going to be beautiful because you've made it and it's come out of your heart. And if you're loving it, if you're enjoying it, it's going to be lovely because you put your heart and soul into it. This really ought to be called soul stitching, shouldn't it? Because it does your soul good. Now I'm just going to remove that because I know where that's going to go. And then I'm just going to try and get this down as quickly as I can. And what I'll do, I'll just go, this cotton is such a good colour, I've got a job to see where it's been stitched. This is lovely lace. And as I said yesterday, go to the charity shops. This is where I bought this blouse. It was beautiful, and if it had fitted me, I would have worn it. But it didn't, so. And none of my children would wear it, so it was absolutely gorgeous. I still feel bad about cutting it up, but it's going to be nice in this book, so at least I've got pleasure of looking at it in the book, haven't I? I'm just going to go along here. Now, I'm not going to stitch this bit down because as I said in my other book, I haven't stitched everything down. It's nice to have little bits. There we are, look, I'm going in between the holes. It's nice to have little bits flicking up. Now let's just check now. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. So that's almost off-white, that material. Just trying to grab, there we go. Try and grab a single thread when you do your knot. And I'm only doing one because I know this is going to be lined, which I'm going to show you in a second. So I'll go back to the thread I had before. I'm hoping that's enough. Good, my eyes are working today. That's lovely. And then I'll do the flower. And then my cover is ready for the next step. Now, I may not do these every day, depending on how things are going in my home and the things other things I have to do. Okay, so that's like that. Make sure I put this on the right way because there's a right way and a wrong way with this flower. And I think I had it like that. No, I didn't. I had it like that. So I'm going to start down here. So I've caught that bit there. And I'm going to go up there underneath the leaf. Okay. And then I'm going to do the same thing as I did. I haven't got a pin in this one, but it's too small. I didn't want to put a pin in there. I knew that was going to happen. Sorry. I'm talking quietly today, aren't I? I'm not a quiet person by nature, but because I'm tired, And I had a really, really good sleep. But we are working hard in our garden, so, you know, if you want a lovely garden, you've got to put the work in, haven't you? And this is a rented house, so we're just praying that, you know, they're not going to say they want to sell it at some point. The person who owns the house, he lives in Nepal, and he was a Gurkha, is it? Is that how you say it? And he's ever so lovely, really, really lovely, a real gentleman. And he's got no intention of selling it at the moment. People's lives change, don't they? And it can change suddenly, so we're not taking anything for granted, but we're just going to enjoy what we have now in the moment. That's all we can do in this life, isn't it? So grateful to God for providing this house for us. We had 3 months to get out of the vicarage. Wasn't long. And the market here in the UK is just gone bananas. People are selling their rented homes because of the tax. The government's just, honestly, they ruin everything, don't they? So we've had to pay a lot more than what we would have liked to have paid. But there we are, that's life. I expect you're finding that in other countries as well. Right, I'm going back over now. I'm just wondering now, I think I'll go under there and come up there. Do you see what I'm doing? So I'm going under there, so it's going over the top of that ridge there. It may show, but I'm not bothered. There, no, it's okay. Then I'm going back into the leaf. There, look. I'm going to go down, and I think I'll come back up. Definitely ready for my second cup of tea. There we are, job done. And it didn't take a lot of stitching. And that's gone right at the end of that. So that's lovely, so I'll keep that down. That doesn't want to go in for some reason. There we go. That was a bit of a tug. So there we are. And I've just got my buttons to sew on, and then that'll be it. So I hope you've managed to get your books ready, and we'll start one of the pages tomorrow. What I'm going to do, I'll alternate these books because I'll be doing different things in them. That didn't want to work, did it? I'll leave that for now because I don't want to mess you about, and I'm going to show you. Oh, I better finish it, hadn't I, because I'm going to stitch the lining in. So excuse me a moment. Yeah, fingers are not too bad today. I'm bringing it closer to me so I can just catch. There. All right. Now this mat is moving around on me today, but they're very useful. So if you haven't invested in one of these mats, I've got a small one and I've got this bigger one. They're not terribly expensive, I don't think. And I bought Rachel one, but she doesn't do as much slow stitching as I do. Put my pins up there so they're out the way, and there we go. So that's that one on. I'm putting the buttons on here with this green, which I'll show you tomorrow. I may finish it off now, I'll see, because I want to get this lining. Now I had this lovely material. This is the book, okay? This is the lining. That's the back of the lining I'm going to use. This is a piece of material that I found in my stash. I'll lift those off now. They're my pages. It's my signature. Pull that over a bit. That's going to go there like that. And it doesn't matter if it's scruffy. I like all the raw edges. It doesn't matter if it's absolutely straight. I don't think I need to iron it, but I may. And that's going to be the inside of my cover. Now, I'm not going to show this, which is such a shame. I did toy with the idea of actually stitching through the lining, but when I looked at this one, I hadn't done that. I'd put lace on instead. So I think I like that idea. And I may put some beautiful lace. Let's have a look what we've got. There's this. I could use this on there like that. bits of cotton everywhere. That's the back. That's it. Always look for the little raised edges if you're not sure. I'm going to overlap. I'm going to hang that down. This is a little bit dark, but I'll just see because I haven't gone the way I went with this one, which is what Katerina did with the coffee dyeing. This is going to be different. This is going to be more stitching rather than the colours. And I shall be doing some of it off camera because otherwise this series will last for weeks. Now I have got other lace. I'm wondering whether, you know, a darker cream or something, maybe a crochet one this time might be better. If I get, yes, I think so. So if I get my crochet box out, which is in my drawer, and as some of you know, it's kept in this box here. So I shall have a look through there later and see, because that would be lovely on there. I mean, we've got lots of yumminess to come yet, but I'm just showing you what I'm going to do with the inside, just in case you were wondering. I haven't made my mind up. I'm not, looking at this, I'm not going to machine stitch it because I've gone right up here. If I was going to do that, I would have had to have managed to stitch that on before, but I'm going to hand stitch it all. I may put a bit of glue underneath just to keep this from flopping about, because it's going to be impossible to invisibly stitch this because of the canvas. So bear that in mind when you're doing it. But I don't mind putting a little bit of glue on the inside of that, and that'll keep that flat. I may iron that. I think I probably will. And that's how it's going to be. So it will be like this. And I think that's better than a floppy cover. I think I really like that. So that's going to be like that. I've got, no, I haven't got 3 signatures. That was the piece I was thinking of using. What have I done there again? Keep doing that, don't I? No idea why I keep doing that. But that's going to go in there like so. And then, and everything will start to come out and out, maybe at the bottom as well. And then that's how we're going to start our book. So I think I'm going to leave it there for now. And I'll sew my buttons on. You'll see that in the next video. And you'll see how far I've got. I won't do any more stitching unless you're with me. But I may do some planning and placing things on the pages just to give you some idea, because some of you might be really quick at stitching, some of you may take your time, so I'll just bear in mind those things. Have a lovely day, take care everybody, and thank you so much for watching, and I hope you will stitch along with me, and I will see you soon. So bye for now.